Discover the future of gaming this November. Hear from over 90 speakers across the globe. Check out the newest Web3 games. Over 300 esports athletes and meet your future developers. The future of gaming is here. Don't get left behind.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
GN, doing well.
Yeah.
Let's go YGG.
Yeah, as always, YGG fam, we have our YGG community representative here, no ACLs, and from the core team G.A.P leadership, we have Day. Day, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. That's been a long week, a lot of work, but we are getting to the closure of this season, so I'm excited to close that one out.
Yeah, do we have an exact deadline for the end of G.A.P here?
Yeah, so it's actually November 1st.
November 1st, and somebody was asking me to the hour, like, do we have an hour, or we just saying the second it hits November 1st, you're done?
So I would say at midnight on November 1st, but sometimes we have some delays, so don't quote me on that. It will depend on the technical capabilities of our operations.
Let's just say don't wait till November 1st, okay? If you wanna get your submissions in and get them done and have no issues, do it before November 1st. It's been really busy. I know, Day, you've been grinding very hard as we approach this final stretch for season 5. Me and you have been working tediously in the background, going through everything through badge creation, talking about how we're going to do some ending, talking a little bit, with Mark and Phil on some little goodies if people are attending the, Web3 Game Summit there, all kinds of stuff. But I guess let's kind of just recap how you feel about the overall season so far. Has season, 4 been everything you wanted? Were there a little pitfalls? Has it been smoother than season 3? And then maybe we'll pass it off to you, no ACLs, after to have your thoughts on season 4 as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah, that would be nice to have your opinion as a participant, right? Well, on my side, like it has been a great season. I think we put in motion a lot of things that we wanted to push that were good improvement for this season. I'm never satisfied, so I keep pushing for more. But on my end, it has been a great season. Above just getting those numbers and then pumping the metrics, like we have seen a lot of a good traction toward the program. People are excited about the quest. We have been delivering a lot of new content, new opportunities for people to engage in different ways. I had good feedback and heard back of like community voices in that respect. I think we're trying to push for more for next season, but so far it has been great. What about your perspective, Noecia?
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna go over it here and share my screen as well, because there's a few things that stand out, like where we've started and where we are now, right? The first thing I have to say is that the whole experience, like the fluidity has just gone up, a few levels, right? When you come to the homepage, it's super easy to check in the guild advancement program, find where the quests are, get your profile created. All of these things have been streamlined. So that's the first thing that is like a big improvement on my side here. Just the user experience, being able to view the quests, have more details. For example, we pull up Axie Advanced Guild Leader, right? When we started in the earlier seasons, it was a little more bare bones, and you had to really, work directly with the Guild Advancement Program community and team in order to hash things out and get everything approved and move forward, right? So there's a big improvement there. The whole process has been streamlined, details are there, and it's easy to get everything confirmed. So yeah, big props there. And then the other thing I'm going to say is when we look at the quests, aside from the super quests being added as well, like that's a totally new layer, but we have so many more quests, right? So we've got tons of variety as far as game partners, and not only just gaming related quests that the community can play and get involved in and grind for, but there are also content creation quests, community leadership quests, game testing and QA quests. So there are so many more layers now and a lot more quests and rewards up for grabs for dedicated community members that want to put the time in and put the effort in to achieve some of these on-chain reputation badges and get some YGG tokens in the process. So I think it's huge really that we have so many games, so many quests, and so many more layers to participate, and the whole process has been streamlined from season 1 to season 4. So that's my brief overview on where we were and where we are now, and I think it's only going to get better. We've mentioned and teased the upcoming leveling and experience system, so that'll be an entirely new layer as well. So big props to everyone involved in developing this and making sure the community knows what they need to do in order to get involved.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself there. It's definitely a huge improvement. The flow is way, way, way better. We have a multitude of more quests. But obviously there's still room for improvement. It's not as smooth as we want it to be. And there is a few things that we want to change up. One of those things is how we vet it. I know a lot of people have been asking how we do our vetting. And Jude, if you just want to throw me up here for a second, maybe share my screen. Let's see. Will it let me actually share it? 1 second. we're gonna see if this works, and it won't let me share my one tab. Oh, there we go. Here, if you want a sneak peek into how we vet it, so everybody fills in their forms here, and some people might see some familiar names. You all fill in those forms. Those forms get compiled into a spreadsheet. You can see under the tabs there, you have multiple different tabs for, obviously this is per game. So these are all the Pixels quests. Pixels by far has the most signups I've seen. I think when I was talking to Elephantanium, shout out to Elephantanium, who's helping me do a lot of this vetting, who's done pretty much most of this vetting himself. We've probably gone through, I think we're almost at like 1,500 submissions for Pixels alone, going through it. So it's pretty tedious on our end as well. So if you're asking whether or not you've been submitted or if you've been vetted, this is what it looks like. And then up on the website, it will actually be toggled after we go through everything to show your status, to tell you that. Now, that being said, after November 1st is going to be the deadline. We will stop all the form submissions. That doesn't mean that if you have an issue or for whatever reason you submit it, let's say you submitted the wrong screenshot for one quest, that you won't be able to, open a ticket and say, hey, I see that I've been rejected. I want to know why. Can I, update my submission with the proper stuff? We will try our best to get around to all of those and update them accordingly. If you have actually, completed it and just for whatever reason messed up the form. That being said, if you're trying to get it in the squeak past the deadline, we will know. I have timestamps. I can clearly see, who's done it and who hasn't at what time, and we have a Google Drive of all submissions. So don't try and kind of squeeze your way in there. But this is why it's tedious, right? Like we have to just go, and I can scroll for quite a while there and go through it and see all kinds of different things there. But that's why it's taken so long. We do want to eventually get this to a point in-house where it's a lot easier. We'd love to get to this to a point where it's almost automated in a sense, where we have API access and actually looks at your level right away and does it. Obviously that's not feasible for some quests, but if we want to scale this up, we do need to have some form of automation for the quests that we can have automation for, right? So that
The
that
good
is your
thing is
little
there are
sneak
some
peek.
that offer that, right? We do have a couple of games that have that integrated already, so maybe in the future it'll be easier.
Yeah, for sure. Pixels is
Right.
one of those quests that we've been talking. Again, Elephantanium has a really, really close knit connection to the community. A lot of people developing tools there. So we are in talks for a lot of games. Day, I'm sure you could probably elaborate on how much we'd like to change this up a little bit, right? But it's
Sure.
something definitely on the top of our mind. Day, you want to give a little input there on that?
Yeah, sure. So at the time of the planning of season 4, not a lot was ready API wise. Not only on the side on our G.A.P, but also on the side of games. This is not something that they put as a priority, but now that questing system are flourishing and they see the point of like having community involved at that layer, well, they put more efforts into working on these APIs. So we are looking at ways to make it work, but as you mentioned, it will be on a case by case basis because it's not pretty much something that we can just replicate across the board. That's like dedicated efforts for the different games or categories. And yeah, as you mentioned, it will not be available for all the games. So that being said, we are still looking forward to opt for some features native to our app to facilitate not only the uploads of proofs when it's needed. I think we are talking about integrating the forms to the website directly instead of resorting to outsource it to another platform. So at least you will be at the same place to like provide your proof. But this is the same for quest owners. Instead of vetting inside spreadsheets, they would be able to vet it through the website directly. So we are looking at these to at least facilitate it, waiting for all that kind of automation. We go for a midway assisting tools. Yeah. So hopefully some of these tools will be ready for next season. We are doing our best and crossing the fingers so planets align.
Right. The good thing is that I know games like Champions Ascension, they've got that data accessible within game. And I know we did something like this with the Axie Super Quests, and Axie has that integrated into their game as well. Star Atlas mentioned it was possible when we spoke with them. So I think we'll get there. It's just a matter of, these different games and projects integrating this and working together with YGG in order to get it going with the quests and the G.A.P program as well.
Yeah, as we scale Day, I think that's something we've chatted about. Like, we actually want to set up a process so that if we are going to add quests, like, we have that API access for almost all of them. And then that way, whenever we onboard, a new game for quests, that we can just kind of go through this pipeline, this system of adding them, getting the API access, getting that integrated, and then developing the quests. Versus the way we've been doing it now is obviously, when a game comes up and we like it or it's exciting for the community, we kind of just piece together whatever quests we can, without even asking if there is API access.
Yeah, exactly. So the technical part of it was less of a concern, but as we scale, that's something that will play an increasingly high part into like making these decisions. Hopefully, for now, we found some workarounds so we can still like push toward like adding more quests. But if we want a better user experience in like always providing more content or opportunities, like we have to work on these pieces for sure.
Exactly. Yep. It's ever evolving, right? It's crazy to see how far we've come from season 1, obviously, to season 4. Season 5 is shaping up to be just as exciting. We are going through I think right now our biggest hurdle day, and you can probably attest to this, is we're figuring out how we're kind of doing the new badges for G.A.P. Me and Dave have been banging our heads off the wall here, trying to get everything set up perfectly for the artwork for this season's badges.
Yeah,
Nice,
so
nice.
we are trying to find a way to actually scale our processes in all parts of the product, and so generating NFTs was also a big one for that. So that's where we look at AI to potentially and more specifically stable diffusion solutions to generate those badges. So we are doing our best to prompt engineer everything and make it look consistent across the board, but also not too much standardized. So it is specific enough, so it maps out well to the quests. And so that's the challenge we are at right now.
Yeah, we're trying to leverage AI. Like I said, it's all about scalability, right? We're going to be adding more quests. A lot of exciting games are coming to Web3, and we want to be able to obviously, take care of all of those. But that also, kind of, if we're going to have new quests on top of the quests we already have, and we want to have seasonality with our badges too. So even if there's a quest from last season, we want, if you achieve it in a different season, we want there to be some sort of variation to that, right? So you can imagine right now, I think, Dave, we have how many quests in total?
So we have close to 160 quests. I couldn't tell you the exact number because I don't keep tags.
Yeah, so that's 160 badges that need to be generated, right? Give or take, that number is up or down. But that number is only going to grow exponentially as we go up there, right? So you can imagine having to have all of these badges made every season, how tedious that would be, even for an art studio, right? Like as those numbers go up. So that's why we're really looking at leveraging AI in this way, but also still having that quality of having an artist set it up. So me and Day are very particular on what the AI is generating. We're trying to prompt it, have some structure and cohesion, obviously, between all of the badges, but at the same time, have the variation and the uniqueness there that's going to excite everybody when they get those badges, right? That they've had from past seasons. Like we've had some really, really great artwork for a lot of the badges past season. Cool. I think that kind of covers the main points. So what do we have there? We had past, we had kind of present with what's going on, and a little bit of a tease on the future stuff there. Jude, do you want to kind of share those videos that you were talking about before? I think we have some community
Nice.
Yeah, perfect example.
Love the music there.
I think a lot of people
Great
are
song
vibing
choice.
there. Yeah, no, it was that's a perfect example of somebody cobbling together, right, a recap of the YGG TIFF event there for one of the gap quests, right, and that was obviously accepted. So if you do need ideas there, that's it. Before we kind of hop into some other stuff here, I want to answer Boogie's questions on some of the Axie quests before I got to scroll, too far down to get caught up with the chat. So, first question for him, and again, this is all related to the Axie Gap quest, but I'm sure there might be a little bit of layover between other quests and stuff. So, what if someone moved or transferred guilds and we don't have access anymore on our org account? Are they still eligible for the Axie quest? I don't know if we have the info for that because we're not the Axie quest leads, right, Day?
Yeah, so I think these questions can be answered by quest owners, and so I'm sure Kyriakevs and AVCD would be able to answer that, but I can still like give a sort of an answer there. I think down the line, if it makes it more difficult or close to impossible for people, specifically quest owners, I mean, to vet the submission, of course, it will be rendering that invalid just because they can't attest like in good faith if that is you specifically. So that's why it's always asked to at least have the same usernames, or to be able to provide different wallets and not change the wallets unless you make some kind of ticket to ask for changing wallets in advance or notify the quest owner. But for sure, last minute, it would be very difficult for them to handle all of these, and they are not responsible for your submission, essentially. They already have a lot to go through, and it's very manual. So as much as possible, you should be the one that take care of your submission, and don't expect that it will be like valid automatically, right? So you should, as much as possible, make it easier for quest owners to manage your submissions, and that's because things are very manual right now and not automated. As we move forward, we would want to make that easier for people, so they don't have to provide the proofs, right? But that's the state of it now. So that should be actually depending on a quest by quest basis. I see a lot of different questions and variations of that same question, but I think that's kind of answer all these questions at once.
Exactly.
Yeah,
the bottom line is like that the quest lead is usually the best person to answer. I think we did answer a few of these other ones kind of outside of that, but yeah, if you can go ask the quest lead if it's specific to your like game or quest, you're probably best to ask them. If it's a broader general gap question, like can you resubmit screenshots after the quest season is end if you've been rejected, that's more of a question for us, right, where we're kind of doing the general guidelines for all of these quest leads on how they do it. And like I said, as long as you're not submitting the actual quest proof before that deadline, and let's say you made a mistake, you accidentally did one, you will have a chance to resubmit. There is going to be, I think, are we giving a full month day for a grace period for people to kind of get stuff sorted out, or is that a shorter time?
Yeah, it's shorter. So usually we aim for 1 week of grace period, especially since this season submissions were opened way earlier to actually submit, and quest owners already started vetting. And so starting November 1, it will be the review of the case by case appeal to these quests that were not validated, for example.
Yeah.
Got it.
I would say, like, if you have any concerns or questions about specific quests that you're enrolled in on the GAP program at yieldguild.io, you can check that quest specifically, scroll down to the bottom, check who your contact is. And if it's still possible to be resolved in this timeline, reach out to them in Discord and see if they can offer support or answer your questions as well. Of course, you want to do this sooner than later. We're in that final stretch now, but keep it in mind moving forward when we do continue to do these quests. You always have a specific contact for each individual quest you can reach out to.
Exactly. Yep. You hit the nail on the head there. Excellent. I think that covers that. No ACLs. I would kind of love to pick your brain on what games and quests you've been going for. Actually, a little change of pace here. What have you been grinding this season? Did you grind out pixels finally?
Yeah, I did do a little bit of it. I just didn't have that much time to really get in there and grind some of those quests. But I'll give you guys a little recap here of my quest experience for Season 4. So if you go to your profile, not only can you view all the quests available, you can view the quests that you have chosen to enroll in. So this is my enrolled quest page. And basically, these are all the quests I've completed over the course of Season 4. I did some Champions Ascension, conquering the arena against some PvP opponents, doing the raid as well. I've done a bunch of game tester quests as well within the game tester program here in YGG. Played some My Pet Hooligan, Pixels, a little bit of those party quests as well. I did attend those, as well as just supporting the community and being an overall ambassador for various partnered games and doing some content creation as well. So I've been in and out of all the different quests. We've got Grand Saga here also, even though Grand Saga, they didn't make it, at least not for now. We'll see what happens, but we have the memories, right? It's on chain. We were there and it was quite the experience. So yeah, I had quite a bit of fun, and it was great spending time with the community across all of these different games and community events, and just getting to meet like-minded people and share the experience overall. So lots of great quests this season. I have to admit, it's been just jam-packed. It's been crazy.
Yeah, it's really amazing. You actually have quite a lot of quests there. maybe not as many as Boring Forever or Big Boss there.
Yeah, definitely.
The quest OGs, but you definitely have a lot. My page does not look as populated as that. That being said, I think I'm beating quite a bit of core. I think Mei Zing might have me beat there, obviously, but I'm doing a pretty good job, I think, myself for that. Day, have you had any time to complete some, or are you opting out because you're you're the lead on it?
So first, I have that thing in my mind that prevents me from enrolling into Quest, just because I feel like I'm responsible for the program. I feel it's unfair for me to enroll, but if I'm nice to myself and I allow me to enroll in Quest, I think I would look at gaming quests and more specifically Pixels. I think early in the season I tried to start something to actually complete the quest, and I realized I don't have time to actually finish those quests, and hopefully that was greedy of me because I targeted some quests that required some grind, right? So I didn't go for the easy ones.
Pixels required a commitment, but there were a lot of events, and if you put the time in, you can't wait for the last minute and try and rush some of these quests, right? They got to be done little by little over the course of the season, because you got to put the time in. So unfortunately, folks like myself and Day and Fallen, we don't have that much time, but we still managed to get some quests done. We still got in there.
We gotta be focused on making the quest for everybody else, right, Day? That's our job.
I always tell them in the council that I would love to be a participant again. That's not the experience I get.
Yeah, you're kind of
I can make
kind
it
of
a
a
better experience
perfectionist.
for everyone. Yeah, also that. I can't enroll in a quest if I don't think I can commit and finish it.
The positive note is that there are G.A.P Council quests as well, right? So you guys do have a small pocket that you're able to participate in, and the community that's involved as well. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, Day, do you want to talk a little bit about the council? Actually, that's a nice segue there. Talk a little bit about the council.
Yeah, sure.
I've had a few people ask actually, like how to get involved with it on the outside. So maybe this is a good point to interject on how to get in. What you guys have been
Yeah,
cooking
sure.
up.
So every week the council is meeting, and what the council is actually a group of like very committed participants of the GAP, more specifically within the community. They are really involved into it to the point of like wanting to help on developing the product in a different way, in a lot of different ways. Sorry, these pillars they are organized around are basically onboarding, quest design, submissions. So what we call operations, research, but also communication. And so participants like you all that are listening are also helping developing the program. So that's kind of a meta level, like kind of questing. So the quests are about like developing the program that is about making quests. And so these people gather every week to actually share updates on what they've been working on to actually help core members expand on the program. And we are experimenting on a basic level of what could be a governance framework that we could export to other areas that are not GAP, right? Because there is a lot of programs that we are trying to develop within YGG, and GAP is one that got like a fair amount of traction. So we would allow ourselves to experiment there and have the luxury to do it because people are really passionate about it. And so hopefully we want to replicate that model across other YGG initiatives. And so that's the place to be involved, to make your voice heard, at least participate in the conversation, stay updated on what we've been working on as well on the product side. So sometimes there is a few links here and there, but also impact the product development. That's where I gather some insight. We discuss some decisions and some potential features that the community would like to see. As a matter of fact, like two of the recent delivered featured like concerned like filtering of quests, and another one would be quests status for quest owners to vet the submissions like easily. These two topics have been things we've been working on thanks to the GAP Council, and hopefully so the objective for this season was for them to work on grant proposals, and for next season put in motion these grant proposals. So YGG is also supporting that with funding. So yeah, to get involved, tune in like every Friday. I wouldn't know the time SGT, but I think it's something along like 9 or 10 p.m. SGT. Anyway, that is plugged on the Discord every week, so you can have that time available. And from there, we also have a dedicated Discord to bring out like these discussions a little bit more specific and carry on like even between seasons. So yeah, that's a community-led initiative helping us developing the program.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's very interesting stuff.
Yeah, no cells. You're on that council too, right?
Yes, but unfortunately, as mentioned, time is a limited resource, and yeah, I focus more on the content creation side of things and community ambassador and game testing side of things. But I have peeped here and there. I know that a lot of folks are really involved in the GAP Council and getting these quests created alongside the team. So it's been great to see so much community involvement, and also just the collaboration with the YGG core and everyone involved in making this possible. So it's been good. Looking forward to seeing this evolve even further.
Yeah, for sure. On that note, Jude, I think we have one more video. You want to cue that up while we take a quick water break, you could say there? Looks like I caught.
My pet
Looking good.
hooligan.
I've been playing quite a bit of that too, trying to grind out that season pass there that we get for free when you own a hoolie there. So grinding slowly there.
You got to keep your eye open for all these community events and tournaments because the servers are inconsistent. That's the only like difficult, part of that process is just that you got to find the right times when there are events taking place to get in there and really grind with other players. We've had some tournaments here in YGG as well, and there are players here grinding actively every day. But you got to get in there when it's mayhem, when there's tons of players, servers are filled. That's the best time.
Yeah, exactly. For me, I kind of just run around solo. I have a specific loop, and I just grind and kill stuff and level up slowly.
Just destroying everything. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. I have a set loop where I know where everything spawns. I just run around. But you can imagine that gets pretty boring.
The grind is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice. But if you want those, cosmetics on the pass, right? Got to do it.
Exactly, right? I don't. Is there a deadline on that? I can't remember if they have a timer ticking down to the end of season 0 or not.
Yeah, there's a deadline. It's in game. I think there's about 30 days or maybe a bit less remaining. So get on that, guys.
I'm gonna be
Something
grinding
like
more. But like you said,
Don't
time
quote
is
me,
of
though.
the
Check
essence.
in game.
I'm going to. Day, yeah. What else do you kind of want to say? You maybe want to talk about the Web3 Game Summit. I think you're going to be there, right? Might be a little bit of a leak.
So actually, that's something that we discussed as a joke on the council for a few weeks. I think I have business there, so we could say that I will be trying to be there. My plane ticket is not purchased yet, but we have a schedule, and I should be there to attend. Yeah.
Nice.
So if I can give you a few clues, it's not an exhaustive list, but essentially I think my presence there would be to meet partners, but not only community members, more specifically quest owners, and also doing some kind of research and planning for season 5. So that would be the stage for it, essentially. And of course, attending the conference.
Yeah, exactly. And that being said, we did make an announcement. If you guys are interested in possibly, attending, this isn't, filling out the form for possible attendance is not locking you into it, but we did send out a form just looking at attendance there. You might want to fill it out. We will be looking at who filled out that form. There might be a little goodies for the people that do fill out that form and then show up at the event itself, right? So I'm gonna I posted the wrong thing for Jude here. Yeah, I was no, not leaks. Leaks would be telling you what possibly you could get, but Jude, I put the forum there if we just want to post that up on the screen. Again, that's in the announcement in the YGG Discord. Please fill that out. We're trying to gauge it. We are obviously gauging that not only to see who's there and possibly give a few things or discounts on tickets there, But who knows? Maybe we're whipping up some merch, and we need to know how many people and how many things we need to put together for merch. I'm not going to say for sure, but maybe leaks.
Nice. You leaked that there's a thing, that something is happening. So
Something's possibly happening. I won't be there, unfortunately, at the event, but like I said, we've been cooking up some stuff. We want people to be excited for the event. We want people to have some special goodies for actually showing up there. It's something else that we've been talking about too for setting up, in the future. I know merch has been one of the things that people have been asking for. Why is there no merch shop? Why can you not use your YGG tokens that you earn and get merch? So don't worry. Papa Fallen's been cooking up some stuff there. Okay, I've been pushing for it pretty hard for merch. I want more merch too. Love my Founders Coin merch. Need more merch. YGG need more merch. But we're not going to make merch for the sake of selling merch. That's one of the things Gabby's been very, very blunt about. Okay, we want merch for like completing gap quests or earning it. Maybe we've floated around the idea of like having tiered. So you're going to level up your profile, right, for doing gap quests. Maybe some of this merch is actually gated by your level, right? Maybe you want that top tier merch. Sorry, that's gated to level 15, level 20, right? So grinding these grab quests will be more than just earning YGG tokens, okay? It's going to be all kinds of different things. We're trying to gamify the system and have more things there. So that might just be one of the things, is a level gated merch shop, right? So.
All right. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Maybe I leaked. Yeah, who knows? Maybe I leaked a little bit too much. I'm going to get some backlash on that.
No, you're not. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. On that note there, any kind of closing remarks or final thoughts on, this gap season, future gap seasons? Kind of really open to chat about anything here as we got 15 minutes or so left. So, Day, no ACLs, anything come to the top of mind?
Yeah, I had one idea that, since I'm not actively in the G.A.P Council sharing my ideas, but I thought I'd throw it out here, maybe see what the community thinks about this. What if there's a possibility that as you continue to evolve this G.A.P quest system, we mentioned earlier that there are going to be quests, some of them are already active, like My Pet Hooligan, for example, where they continue season after season. But you were mentioning you wanted to do maybe a different art style or a different badge for different seasons, right? What if there were some future type of quests where they evolve over time, right? Where it's almost like the metadata of that quest evolves season after season if you complete each tier of quest every season for that badge. You know what I mean? Like an evolving badge. That's something to think about maybe for a future season. So just throwing that out there. What do you guys think about that? What's the community think about that idea? Maybe.
Well, that's one I had in the past as well. So I'm not gonna lie, I like the idea. Then I have to sell the idea, right, to the organization and the team. It all boils down to like priorities and like the product funnel, how it is. But that's definitely one of the things that could be interesting to actually leverage both the metadata, the quest structure, and the just making things like evolutionary and just more interactive for the people.
Right. And then, of course, once that is set in place, if it is set in place in the future, then you have other accolades and incentives that could be tied in for community members that have completed these quests season after season and have evolved their badge, right? So it's an interesting concept. Good luck trying to sell it. YGG, make it happen.
Yeah, I think Day can attest that we've got a lot of ideas, and unfortunately, we just obviously, as much as we have ideas, it's another thing to actually make those come to fruition, right? We got to pass that off to product and dev team, and they're only so large themselves. So it's a matter of prioritizing the obviously the important things that are going to help us scale first, and then adding these kind of smaller, I'm not going to say not as important things, but smaller things that kind of don't add to the flow and the ease of progression, right? So if we have to choose between evolving badges and obviously API integration to make a lot of this automated, I think it's pretty clear what way we want to divert the manpower to, right? So we're always balancing, okay, how much is this actually going to benefit the end user at the end of the day and our quest leads, right? So right now, I think top of priorities is API access, and then obviously making these as streamlined as possible so that we can grow at a rapid pace. And then we're going to look more at these kind of timbits and stuff, especially as well. Like we talk about a lot about leveling here, but leveling isn't even released yet, right? Like it's not up there. I think for a bit we had some leveling showing on your profile, and then that's kind of been removed. But that's one of our big goals, right? Obviously for next season is to get that leveling up. And again, that won't be in full-fledged out the gate, right? That's going to evolve too, just like G.A.P. But I think one of our goals is just to get your general XP and levels showing on your profile, so you have an idea of what that is, and then how that's all going to integrate too. Probably something we're going to have another community stream on. I think when we do our community like quarterly updates, that's something that Phil will passionately talk about himself. Who knows? Maybe at the Web3 Summit he'll actually leak some more stuff there. But I don't know. I'm not in charge of it. I'm just kind of relaying some of the information I've heard from Phil himself on the core team to give you guys a little bit of leaks and hype it up. So don't quote me. All of this stuff can change.
Nice. Well, it's only season 4. We'll see what happens as the seasons progress. You never know, right?
Exactly. Who knows? Maybe Day and myself will still be here season 100, right? And we'll see how it goes.
Oh,
season
to
1000.
Season 100.
Day's like an old man in a rocking chair. Season 1000.
How many seasons does Fortnite have? That's a lot of seasons, thinking about longevity. Will we survive 1,000 seasons, like biologically? Not YGG. I mean, it could continue without us, but that's a long time.
That's the idea, right? Set down the foundation so that it can continue.
For sure, yeah. It's been a blast, honestly.
You touched on an interesting piece, actually. Like if we don't see ourselves like in 30 seasons, that can still be a possibility, even if it's not us piloting it, but more of something that is self-sustainable and self-piloted, so to speak. I think we have that vision in the back of our mind of like putting in place that system so it becomes fairly autonomous and like automated as well to provide an experience for the user without like people being inside the machine behind it, basically.
Yeah, the torch just gets carried on. Let's go.
Well, that's all part of of blockchain and DAOs in general, right? Is being able to eventually lay the framework where the community can, and the council can continue even if we're not here, if Cord can't take up that torch, right? So we're laying down the foundation. Day's doing a great job. I think everybody will agree of setting that up. And like he said, the final iteration will be, well, final-ish. I don't think there is ever a final iteration, but the final-ish iteration will be where, again, we will have much less input and all the systems will be in place where the council can kind of just decide and create. And then, it just flows organically. With that being said, no ACLs. I think you have some exciting news, so I'm going to give the floor to you. What do you got cooking there, bud?
Yeah, appreciate that. Honestly, so I just want to share like a milestone. I've been with YGG since early 2021 and in crypto and Web3 for almost 8 years. Been grinding and, getting involved with the community, creating content, and really just being passionate about what we're doing in this space. And after all that time and effort, just some pretty cool news. Of course, much love to the YGG family. So much going on here. Appreciate all your support. Without YGG in particular, I think most of these goals would not be achievable. So yeah, much love to all you guys. But recently, just to share the news with the community, I actually partnered with Owned, and Owned is actually in collaboration with Unix Gaming. They're doing a huge tournament and event here for $1 million in prizes called Game League. And we've got tons of big Web3 creators and partners working with this organization. There's over 80 game partners and some of the top creators in Web3 over the course of the last 3 years. Crypto Stash, Spike is up there, and a bunch of other great creators that we know, like Mad DeFi's Icy. And I'm privileged to be included as well. So I'll be continuing to, wave the Yield Guild banner and share my experience and make sure that I represent. So make sure you guys check it out. Jump into their Discord. You can get involved in the event as well. And there's tons of rewards to earn, NFTs, cash prizes, and it's going to be a blast. So don't miss it. Check out the Owned Game League. Let's go.
Yeah, big news. Congrats, no ACLs. Maybe you'll have to push for some sort of collaboration between YGG and them, right?
Absolutely. As always, we'll definitely, hopefully cook something up here in the near future. So let's get it.
Exactly. Yeah, very happy for you, my friend. I know you've been grinding hard. So great to see you recognized along with some pretty big names in there, right?
Yeah, man. Honestly, it's a privilege. And yeah, just happy to, be a part of it. And like I said, continuing to represent YGG, let everybody know about what's going on here in the community, what we're doing, and how they can get involved. And I will continue to do so. So much love. Let's go, Yield Guild.
Yeah, for sure. And I think maybe this is ahead of it, but we've been teasing a little bit where you're going to be coming back on for like your own little weekly stream. It's still cooking, but we're getting ready. We're almost there.
Yeah, we're working on some details. So stay tuned. Make sure you follow me, you follow Owned, and yeah, stay tuned. There's a lot of interesting things going on with some big games that we're all excited about here in YGG. So don't miss it.
Yeah, it looks like all these big hitters, these big games are starting to ramp up. We're starting to see some really good stuff, which is amazing, right? And eventually there'll be a point where we just have too many games to play and we got to pick and choose, right?
Yeah, I think it's already like that right now, to be honest.
Really?
They're just not all finished. Like there's so many games, but they're just not all finished, right? I think once they're finished, we'll be in that boat right now. But there's so many games that we're waiting for to really blow the doors open, right?
Exactly.
So,
yep. Everything's like an alpha or open beta. We don't have like
yep.
finely polished stuff there, but it's looking like it. It's getting there.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, yeah, we're getting almost to the top of the hour here, so I will give the floor to Day quickly. Day, any closing thoughts before we wrap it up here? Anything that you want to plug, maybe in terms of the ending of G.A.P here and what you want people to do?
Yeah, sure. So maybe I can remind you guys that the season is ending on November 1st, that you should definitely send your submissions if that's not done. If some of the quest requires you to wait until the end of season to send your submissions, that's possible. You have 1 more week to do it, and like that would be the grace period. So don't wait for the season to end to actually submit it. You should do it as soon as you can, and then things will go smoothly. Yeah, that's and again, to close it on the G.A.P, thank you for participating in this season. It has been a great season for me, for you, I hope so as well. And we are looking already at season 5 to work on an even better season.
Awesome. No ACLs, buddy. Closing remarks from you?
Yes, sir. The G.A.P has been a success from season 1 to season 4, in my opinion, and it keeps getting better. Make sure you get involved and get whatever quests you can squeezed in here before time runs out. You've got until November 1st, but like Fallen and Day have mentioned, make sure you get things in early. I'd say this week, wrap it up. Get all your submissions in, get everything organized so you don't have any trouble when things close out. But it's been a great time and looking forward to season 5. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Yes. So cheers, everybody from YGG tuning in, and outside of YGG, we appreciate you guys popping in, listening to what we have to say here. If you do have any future questions, we do have multiple channels of communication that you can reach out on. If it's G.A.P specific, we have the G.A.P questions channel. If not, you can open a ticket. So please don't be shy. We're here to help. We want everybody to succeed and enjoy the G.A.P season. And yeah, just cheers. Together we play, guys. YGG for life, right?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Thank you,
We are
Poland. Thank you,
YGG.
Poland. Let's go, guys.
Discover the future of gaming this November. Hear from over 90 speakers across the globe. Check out the newest Web3 games. Over 300 esports athletes, and meet your future developers. The future of gaming is here. Don't get left behind.